Welcome to Frankenstein's Fabrics Saturday Stitches. This week's video I'd like to show you my all-time favourite shape. Now I love Paisley and I use this in a lot of patterns that I do. This one is my tessellated Paisley. It's also like a very dense feather, like a feather filler as opposed to feather on a spine. Now this is the shape we looked at a few weeks ago when we were doing our hearts and leaves and butterflies and flowers on a looped chain. So keep in mind that shape, but this time we're going to play with it a bit more and turn it into a filler for this entire square. Now, all I'm doing is keeping them about the same size at the moment, but I'm about to come out and make a larger one. Now you can see I'm working my way across and I've left this gap. Now that's fine because with this design you can travel along your stitches and fill spaces a lot more easily than with some other designs. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to work my way around and you'll see how this fills the space really nicely. Remember to reposition your hands so that you don't get uncomfortable. And remember, you're traveling in multiple directions, so make sure your feathers, your Paisley, whatever you want to call them, are going in all different directions so that they can fill gaps. Now remember, curved shapes do not fill a square shape perfectly tessellated because there's always going to be little gaps. So all you're trying to do here is get the best fill that you can. And then travel over your stitches. And I find that it looks quite rustic with your, if you've missed it. So if I've gone over here, you can see that I've done this shape over the top of the other one. Don't worry about it. It looks good and it gives nice texture. And the beauty about this shape is that you can curve your Paisley or your petal around other petals. So what happens is you can hook it round. You can hook it round on top of another. It can be sitting and draping on top of. And there we have a finished square. It feels really nice. There's lumps in terms of the wadding where there's open space in the center here, and you can run your hand over it and it just feels really nice. If you match your threads to your background fabric, some of these stitches that don't quite hit the mark won't be as visible. So have a think about how you want your paisley petal, flower, whatever you want to call it, will look like. So have a think about the colour on the background fabric, if you want a contrast like what I've got here with this variegated on black, or whether you want it to sink in and just give the illusion of texture. So have a think about that, have a play with that one, and next time I will show you a different aspect to this paisley that will give you even more depth and more texture, and it will look gorgeous, I promise you. So keep practicing, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time with Saturday Stitches.